Christmas Eve 2002. A pregnant woman disappears without a trace. Within months, investigators accuse her husband of murder. More than 20 years later, new evidence, new witnesses, and a question that refuses to disappear. Did investigators solve the right case? To the outside world, Scott and Laci Peterson embodied the American dream. They were young, attractive, successful, a couple who seemed to have it all. Friends and family described them as deeply in love, a perfect match who complemented each other. Laci was the social butterfly, warm and energetic, while Scott was more reserved, but equally charming and adoring. In 2002, Laci became pregnant. The news brought immense joy. She was ecstatic, meticulously decorating a nursery for their son, Connor. That perception of perfection made the events of Christmas Eve 2002 not just tragic, but incomprehensible. The morning of December 24, 2002, began like any other in the Peterson household on Covenant Avenue. According to Scott Peterson, he last saw her around 9:30 a.m. as she was preparing to leave for her walk. Scott tells police he went fishing. He claimed he left their home around 9:30 a.m., hitching the 14-foot aluminum fishing boat to his truck. His destination was the Berkeley Marina, an approximately 90-mile drive from Modesto. Laci disappears. Family begins searching. At 6:00 p.m., Ron Gransky made the official call to the Modesto Police Department, reporting Laci Peterson as a missing person. The community response was immediate and overwhelming. Helicopters hovered over the city. Search parties combed through parks and fields, calling Laci's name. But investigators soon discovered something that changed everything. Just weeks into the investigation, a massage therapist from Fresno named Amber Frey came forward. She told police she had met Scott in November, that he presented himself as single, and their relationship quickly became serious. Scott showered her with affection and promised a future together.
Filtered on tape. I lost my wife. This will be my first Christmas without her. The lie, just weeks before Laci vanished, was chillingly prophetic and gave investigators a powerful potential motive.
Police shifted focus onto Scott, transforming him from person of interest to prime suspect. She allowed police to record her subsequent phone conversations with Scott Peterson. He called her from vigils being held for Laci. He told Amber he was traveling in Europe, all while he was at the center of a massive missing person investigation in Modesto. These calls became a central pillar of the prosecution's case, presented as undeniable proof of his cold, calculating nature. The physical evidence, though largely circumstantial, also began to point towards Scott. He said he made 2 concrete anchors at his warehouse, but only one was found in his boat. The only thing missing was the most crucial piece of evidence: Laci Peterson's body. Then, in April 2003, on the eastern shore of the San Francisco Bay, a series of horrifying discoveries were made. On April 13th, the remains of a full-term male fetus were found. The following day, just a mile away, the decomposed body of an adult female washed ashore. On April 18th, 2003, DNA tests confirmed that the remains were those of Laci Peterson and her unborn son, Connor. Just hours before the DNA results were officially announced, police arrested Scott Peterson in San Diego. His appearance drastically altered. The trial of Scott Peterson began in June 2004, quickly becoming the most watched legal drama in the country. Lacking a murder weapon or a confession, prosecutors relied on a mountain of circumstantial evidence to convince the jury of his guilt. His defense team argued Scott was an unfaithful husband, but not a murderer, and that police suffered from tunnel vision, ignoring other plausible leads. On November 12, 2004, the jury found Scott Peterson guilty of first-degree murder for Laci and second-degree murder for Connor. He was later sentenced to life without parole. Despite the conviction, Scott Peterson has never stopped proclaiming his innocence, and his legal team has continued to file appeals. One of the most significant challenges centered on a juror, Rochelle Nice, who Peterson's attorneys argued had lied to get on the jury. The court denied a new trial on these grounds. Peterson's new legal team, part of the Los Angeles Innocence Project, has focused on a burglary across the street, suggesting the burglars may have abducted Laci. They argue these claims suggest police focus on Scott may have dismissed an alternative theory of the crime. To be clear, courts have repeatedly rejected Peterson's appeals. The defense's claims are legal arguments, not established facts overturning the verdict. More than 20 years later, the case continues to divide public opinion. Some believe justice was served. Others believe important questions remain unanswered. Whether the truth has already been found, or whether history will one day change, remains one of America's most debated criminal cases.